Okay, let's talk about this absolutely beautiful, vibrant, and, well, incredibly chatty bird, the rose-ringed parakeet. Now, for so many people, it's a beloved pet, but for ecologists, it's a whole different story. So we're going to dive in and explore the two really conflicting sides of this one little bird.
And that right there is the big question, isn't it? How can a bird that's so widely loved for its personality and its intelligence also get this reputation as a major invasive species all over the world? The answer tells us a whole lot about our own relationship with the animal kingdom.
All right, so first, before we get into the whole pest side of things, we've got to understand the pet side. What is it about the rose-ringed parakeet that makes it so darn popular in the first place? Well, it really boils down to this amazing combination of brains, beauty, and a whole lot of personality. I mean, you can see why people want them, right? They are wicked smart, which means they're super engaging and fun to have around. They're also really social, and they can form these incredibly strong bonds with their owners. And if they're hand-raised, they can become just remarkably tame. But the thing they're most famous for, of course, is that they can talk.
And it's not just their personality. A huge part of the appeal is, well, just looking at them. Through some really dedicated selective breeding, we now have this entire rainbow of colors to choose from. We're talking brilliant yellows, deep blues, even violets and grays, way beyond their natural green. And this variety has just made them even more popular.
Yeah, their star quality really comes down to that voice. And we're not talking about some muffled squawking here. They can have exceptionally clear mimicry of human speech. It's this incredible skill that makes them one of the most sought-after talking parrots on the planet. But, as we're about to see, all that popularity comes with a pretty big hidden cost. And here is where the whole story just takes a massive turn. 35. And that's a conservative number. We're talking more than 35 countries where this beloved pet has escaped or been released and has now set up feral breeding populations, far, far away from home.
So this is where we have to look at the parakeet's other life, not as a cherished pet living in a cage, but as an unwelcome guest that is literally changing ecosystems all around the world. Officially, the rose-ringed parakeet is now considered one of the world's most successful invasive parrots. Yeah, that's right. They're originally from parts of Africa and the Indian subcontinent, but now these feral flocks are a common sight in the cities and parks of Europe, North America, you name it.
So how in the world did we get here? Well, it's actually a pretty simple four-step process, and it's driven entirely by us. It all starts with them being popular pets. That leads to countless accidental escapes, or even worse, people intentionally releasing them. And because these birds are so tough and adaptable, they just thrive in new places, especially cities. Before you know it, bam, they've set up breeding populations and the invasion is on.
But you might be thinking, what's the big deal? So what if an escaped pet makes it in the wild? Well, when it's not just one, but thousands of them, the ecological and the economic problems, they start to add up, and they can be pretty serious. The difference is just night and day. Back in their native home, they're just part of the ecosystem. But when they're invasive, they become a huge problem. They can damage commercial fruit crops, which costs farmers real money. They're super aggressive, and they bully native birds, stealing their nesting spots. And as anyone who lives near a big flock will tell you, the noise from hundreds of them, it can be absolutely deafening. So as the scale of this problem became really obvious, governments and wildlife agencies all over the world started to step in. They began creating laws and regulations specifically designed to try and control the spread of these feral populations. Let's just take South Africa as an example. Down there, the rose-ringed parakeet is listed as a Category 2 invasive species. Now, what that means is, it's not a suggestion, it's the law. You literally need a permit just to keep one. And there are super strict controls on breeding and selling them. All of that is to try and stop any more birds from getting out into the wild. And this isn't just happening in one place. Over in Tasmania, Australia, for instance, it's recognized as a big risk, and you need a permit just to bring one into the state. It's a clear signal that globally, people are recognizing that while this bird is beautiful, it's also a real threat that needs to be managed. So, all of this really boils down to one absolutely golden rule for anyone even thinking about owning or breeding one of these parakeets. You have to check your local laws first. Seriously, these rules aren't there to be annoying. They exist for a really important reason, to protect the local wildlife and the environment. So, where does that leave us?
We're stuck with this weird duality. Is it a pet? Yes, of course. Is it a pest? Well, in a lot of places, yeah, absolutely. And that kind of brings the focus right back to us, and it changes the question into one of human responsibility. At the end of the day, responsible ownership is the only path forward here. It's the only way we can balance our love for this bird with our duty to protect the environment. That means totally escape-proof cages. It means never, under any circumstances, releasing a pet into the wild. It also means talking to other people about this. And for breeders, it means focusing on the health of the birds, not just creating some cool new color. Ultimately, the story of the rose-ringed parakeet isn't just about a bird. It's a perfect case study that kind of holds a mirror up to all of us. And it leaves us with a really big question to think about. At what point does our love for a beautiful animal cross that line and become ecologically irresponsible?
You know, a huge reason for its popularity is, just look at this. Through selective breeding, people have created this absolutely incredible rainbow of colors, way beyond its natural green. You've got these bright yellow lutinos, deep blues, violets. I mean, this visual appeal alone made it a total superstar in the pet world.